and welcome. Let's tell you about this lead agency of the federal government concerned with emergency response to disasters, humanitarian service provision, and other crisis management. That's the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, dedicated to changing narratives by saving lives and reducing the impacts of disasters since its establishment in 1999. Now, with its 5 approaches: prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response and recovery, NEMA has continued to formulate policies and execute activities in coordination with states and local councils components. I'm Ayodeji Makinde, and this is Reshaping Democracy. The National Emergency Management Agency Director General, Zubaida Umar, is on the program to respond to citizens' questions in the delivery of the mandate of tackling disaster-related issues. Join me to explore the critical work of NEMA in responding to disasters, supporting affected communities, and building resilience for a safer Nigeria.
My name is Tijani Ali Aud Damasak. I'm from Borno State. My question is that what strategy has NEMA employed to enhance timely disaster response and humanitarian intervention, and how have this effort impacted the affected population in this state? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The first thing I would say is that NEMA's primary focus is to reduce the impact of disasters when they occur by safeguarding lives and protecting property and also ensuring community resilience. I'm glad that this question is coming from Maiduguri, where we recently had the unprecedented floods, and we have several strategies that we've employed. And some of these strategies, and I think the most important one for us would be that of interinstitutional coordination. Now, this mechanism facilitates timely and effective response to all sorts of disasters. You see what played out in Maiduguri, and what happened was that you could see that the armed forces, the police, the civil defense, international organizations all came together. So it was a combination of various stakeholders. So what we have is good collaboration with other agencies to ensure that timely response took place. Again, we have the community-based initiatives where what we do is to build resilience through communities. As we always say, all disaster is local, and without communities, then you're left in the dark. You cannot do so much without them. We also have the incident management system, where this provides a structured approach to disaster response. So we have a combination of things, including capacity building and trainings. All these are initiatives that we use to respond to disasters and also humanitarian interventions. We're also leveraging on data, where what we've started doing is to ensure that we have clean data. Because once you have clean data, you're able to target particular locations and disasters accurately, rather than just doing it haphazardly. We also have the international partnerships, but going forward, we intend to build more on international partnerships, and that is by reaching out to private organizations, for example, to see how we can key into their CSR initiatives. Of recent, when these floods broke out, we were able to approach the flood committee headed by Alhaji Aliko Dangote, and we got a lot of support. Same with the Bank of Industry and the FIRS. We're able to get quite a lot of support from them, not relying just on those budgetary allocation. We'll also intend to seek further support from international organizations, most importantly on technical support rather than cash-backed funding. And we'll also continue to promote in-kind support from the general public. There's no government that when a disaster becomes overwhelming, everybody is part of it. and would like to boost that by, in the event there's a disaster that becomes overwhelming, even the general public will be able to contribute, not just as volunteers, but also to donate towards the cause.
My name is Dalladi Suleiman Zulum from Maiduguri. And my question is, how is NEMA addressing the humanitarian needs of internally displaced persons and refugees resulting from conflicts in Nigeria? And what partnership has the agency forged to support this?
Okay, so as NEMA, what we do is we support the state emergency management agencies with the IDP architecture. So what we do is, you say he's from Maiduguri. When, for example, when this recent flood broke out, we were there to provide medicaments. We also had mobile clinics in some of the IDP camps to support the displaced persons. We also provided food items. We also provided shelter. Most importantly, we also provide camp coordination. In each and every IDP, we would have camp managers that are able to report back. And we also, food, yes, medicaments, shelter, clean water. So we had facilities on ground that were able to purify water to provide safe drinking water to the populace. So when we have repatriation of irregular migrants from other countries, we partner with the Refugee Commission as well to be able to do a head count and to also provide medical services and food. So we have partnerships with them where we assist when we have irregular migrants repatriated back to the country.
What measures has NEMA taken to strengthen its crisis mitigation and rescue operations, including the development of personnel and equipment? And how has this impacted the agency's response to disasters and emergencies?
So we have emergency response teams in all the 36 states of the Federation. And whenever there's a conflict or a disaster strikes, we're also able to mobilize our own people, more people to go and give support to it. In Benue State, in Lokoja, in Maiduguri, in Jigawa, almost all the states that you see. We have in every state, plus the FCT, we have our emergency response teams on ground. And these response teams include the stakeholders that I spoke about earlier on. So once there's a disaster, we're able to activate and mobilize for immediate response.
How is NEMA supporting the well-being and capacity building of its staff, particularly those involved in crisis mitigation and rescue operations, to ensure they are equipped to respond effectively to disaster and emergencies?
So we do not joke with our staff well-being. Our men and officers are out there. They're on the field all the time. Once a disaster strikes, they're almost there to respond immediately. They're like the first and second responders. We have an established staff welfare unit within the organization, and this caters to all staff needs. And what we've also done is to create a clinic. We have a staff clinic. Because of the nature of the job, this staff clinic has a doctor and also nurses to nurture and take care of our staff internally. We also have the Staff Memorial Fund. In the event of loss of lives of any one of our staff, we're able to cater for the family as the need may arise. We also do constant capacity building for them. And this capacity building isn't just local, we do it in conjunction with international agencies as well to be able to enhance their capabilities. We have a search and rescue department, and it's responsible for, we have trained officers there, and we also have officers from the military, and we have professionals that are able to carry out the job. Now, when we go to a zone that becomes overwhelming, that is when we come to mobilize more staff from the headquarters. And that is where when we come to do our drills and our trainings, we do not pick who is a civilian or who isn't. We do it for every single member of staff. So majority of our staff happen to be search and rescue staff. And like I said, we always look out for their well-being. They have hazard allowances that we're monitoring to ensure that everybody's doing well. Most importantly, the knowledge that is impacted in them so that they go out there as professionals. For example, we have to have people that know how to swim. We have to have people that are good in first aid. And this is what our drills always concentrate in knowing how to respond to particular disasters when the need may arise.
My name is Bashir Hassan, a resident of Gusau in Zamfara State. Can you elaborate on NEMA's coordination and collaboration efforts with other stakeholders, including international organizations, to ensure a unified response to disasters and emergencies?
So we recognize the importance of collaboration, and we do not take it for granted. If you look at it in 2024, we've had more than 4 coordination forum meetings, and we partner with the armed forces, we partner with the police, the civil defense, Ministry of Health, water resources, and it's all collaborative effort. And it's because we realize the fact that one body cannot do it alone, and you need the professionalism of each and every member. When it comes to international collaboration, we also partner with the UN, the Red Cross, the UNICEF, and other bodies to ensure that we have a common goal and we're all operating on the same page. Now, the purpose of our coordination is for us to know that we're not running around like headless chickens. We come together to achieve the same purpose. And some of our coordination mechanisms, we have the National Emergency Management Committee, which NEMA chairs. We also coordinate and work in partnership with all the state governments through their state emergency management agencies.
My name is Imran Ashiru from Zamfara State. Mr. Gigi NEMA, please, what strategies is NEMA employing to mobilize resources and funding to support its disaster response and humanitarian intervention?
So for funding, we leverage on various strategies. We all know that we already have the budgetary allocation that comes our way. We also have the international partnerships. But going forward, we intend to build more on international partnerships. And that is by reaching out to private organizations, for example, to see how we can key into their CSR initiatives. Of recent, when these floods broke out, we were able to approach the flood committee headed by Alhaji Aliko Dangote, and we got a lot of support. Same with the Bank of Industry and the FIRS. We're able to get quite a lot of support from them, not relying just on those budgetary allocation. We'll also intend to seek further support from international organizations, most importantly on technical support rather than cash-backed funding. And we'll also continue to promote in-kind support from the general public. There's no government that when a disaster becomes overwhelming, everybody is part of it. And we'd like to boost that by, in the event there's a disaster that becomes overwhelming, even the general public will be able to contribute, not just as volunteers, but also to donate towards the cause. We're also leveraging on data, where what we've started doing is to ensure that we have clean data. Because once you have clean data, you're able to target particular locations and disasters accurately, rather than just doing it haphazardly.
My name is Friday Ife Rioka. I live at Winners Way, Ikodansa, Calabar. What lesson has NEMA learned from its response to past disaster and emergency? And how is the agency applying these lessons to inform its future direction?
One of the most important lessons that we have learned is on the issue of early warning systems. And that when you have early warning, you're able to be proactive in good time. And even though I know that there's a bit of resistance when it comes to early warning, we start warning people early, but for reasons that we all know, people are a bit hesitant when it comes to trying to relocate, for example, in good time. However, we're going to build upon that to ensure that we even warn earlier. And we're doing this in conjunction with NIMET and also NISA, where we get predictions and we're able to make the move. We also have realized the issue of collaboration. You see what played out in Maiduguri, and what happened was that you could see that the armed forces, the police, the civil defense, international organizations all came together. So it was a combination of various stakeholders. So what we have is good collaboration with other agencies to ensure that timely response took place. Again, we have the community-based initiatives where what we do is to build resilience through communities. As we always say, all disaster is local, and without communities, then you're left in the dark. You cannot do so much without them. We also have the incident management system, where this provides a structured approach to disaster response. So we have a combination of things, including capacity building and trainings. All these are initiatives that we use to respond to disasters and also humanitarian intervention. Improved collaboration, and we're going to keep going at it to ensure that we're all on the same page and we're able to respond more swiftly than expected. We also faced a few challenges of logistical issues in terms of delivery of relief items, and that is something that we've also learned. And what we're trying to do now is to see how we can remain prepared by stockpiling before disasters strike. And though there's funding challenge from time to time, but we'll look into it and see how we can do it, even if it is in collaboration with the CSR initiatives that I mentioned earlier on, and the issue of infrastructure as well. Sometimes it's difficult for you to reach from point A to B. We're also looking into that and seeing how we can tidy up in conjunction with other agencies to see how we're able to do that. We're also looking at an integrated approach to disaster risk reduction, whereby we're no longer reactive, we want to be proactive. And that is our mantra for 2025. It's all about disaster risk reduction. Rather than waiting for it to happen, we want to be on top of our game before it occurs. Now, we have a disaster risk reduction department, which is in charge of looking out for these things. And we're really looking closely. And earlier on, I had mentioned the issue of technology. We're using our GIS, that is a geographical information system, to map out these disasters and the risks associated with it. Like before these floods receded, we were able to monitor flood situations on a real-time basis. We're able to see where the flood is, what is happening, where our men are at every given time. And going forward, it will really assist us in terms of deploying logistics and support to these communities. NEMA, in collaboration with other agencies, is working tirelessly to see that succor and temporary relief is provided to Nigerians whenever disaster occurs. Our goal is to build a culture of preparedness and resilience amongst Nigerians, and we look forward to a disaster-free nation in 2025. Thank you very much.
NEMA is taking a big step through interagency collaboration with security and rescue organizations to ensure disaster risk reduction. One of such ways is through the Emergency Response Center that coordinates speedy deployment of manpower and resources for search and rescue and other life-saving interventions. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. The program is back same time next week. Bye-bye.